Do you want to do the intro today?
No.
Why not?
Nobody liked mine. It was too #emotional.
Triggered.
I'm triggered.
Hey guys, welcome to the Evan and Katelyn podcast, the podcast where Katelyn gets triggered.
Hopefully not.
No. So today we're going to be doing, and I'll list things out properly, we're going to be doing news that's really exciting with a dirty secret at the end. We're going to be telling the story of how the Supurrvisor entered our lives. We will not be playing a game, and we will have a thing of the week.
There you go.
That's it. Evan's intros are just reading the list in front of him. It did have game listed there, so I'm going to delete that so it doesn't trip us up later.
Oh, yeah. Well, and sometimes we're not great with our time estimates, but I think the story of the Supurrvisor will...
It might go on for a little bit because we'll probably end up just telling random stories in general about how the Supurrvisor is entertaining and a cute little sneaky ninja of fluff.
Oh, so sneaky.
So ninja, so sneaky. Words are easy. All right, so some news updates. We found a third editor for the gaming channel.
Yay! Yeah, if you guys saw the Human Fall Flat Dark level, props to the new editor.
Yeah, it's exciting to like continue growing that team and everything. It's interesting how building up a team for the gaming channel has been, you know, it's been work, but there haven't been that many hiccups compared to like trying to. I think we've already talked about like the main channel versus the gaming channel and stuff. But it's really exciting that we're making progress, and also once like the 3 editors can maybe edit 1 per week, that might be enough to keep up with us and our schedule.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we stream more than once per week, but some weeks we only stream once a week when it's
no,
crazy.
because if all 3 edit 1, that'll be 3 per week.
Oh, yeah. Math.
And then we should be good, which is really exciting. Yeah. It's like figuring things out, moving the business along.
That'd be great.
Like, it's really cool.
That would be great. We can stream so much more Minecraft.
It's so hard not to stream Minecraft every single time. The other day we tried to go in and just play a casual stream where we're just like doing maintenance around our little world and everything. It was just going to
be like a maintenance and chat stream where it's like we just do stuff. And if you're not familiar with Minecraft, we're just doing stuff like making food for us to take on journeys, like...
building a second story to our house,
harvesting plants from our farm,
yeah,
like the kind of stuff that typically isn't the most interesting for like a gaming highlight that goes on the channel. But then like Evan kept being like, can I do the great harvesting of the cows? We have like a cow farm.
Can I turn a sheep into a rainbow sheep?
Can I make a rainbow sheep? And I'm like, stop it, save the interesting stuff for the stream. They're like, can I go explore that cave and just get some more iron? And I'm like, no cave exploring unless it's for the highlight.
Yeah, but then you gave in with me. Then you started building the second story and
then
the
we
balcony.
Built an entire second story to our house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was because we found the pink sheep. We found a natural pink sheep.
Yeah, we found a natural pink sheep, and like that triggered the whole thing. Oh, we got triggered. Oh no, we failed. We failed. Oh, no. Yeah, it's just really fun. The gaming channel continues to be like a awesome break from our like daily routines that like pulls us out of like continual hustle mode, even though it's like a side hustle. It's just side hustle mode. It's different. It's different enough.
It's different. It's interesting to me, and like this took me a little bit to get on board with before we started hiring out editors, because the gaming channel, we like just recently monetized it. So it gets some YouTube ad money, but it's very little, and we haven't done any sponsors there because, you know, the views just aren't really enough to justify the amount of time and work it would take to do a sponsor.
Yeah.
But so we're spending more money on the gaming channel than we're spending on the main channel.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Even though the main channel is what like gives us income.
I mean,
it's an investment.
With the recent camera purchases and upgrades, we did spend a decent amount.
Oh, yeah, we did.
On the main channel stuff.
Right.
But that we can use for all of the channels. Not really.
Not really. Yeah, because gaming channel is just this camcorder, which we already had.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, you know, we've talked about it enough, and I sometimes forget how much we've talked about things on the podcast. But there's no other way to start up this channel other than getting help.
100%. It would have just like, and not fizzled. I still think we would be streaming, but I don't think the gaming channel would really be much. I think we'd just be streaming
No.
mostly.
And we can
we
like
didn't have editing help.
upload our old streams on YouTube in their entirety, but like I don't want that to be what the channel is. Not that
No.
there's anything wrong with that. A lot of streamers do that. They stream and then they highlight the whole stream to YouTube.
I think we just want to, if we're putting something, if we're re-uploading content, not re-uploading, but if we're putting something on YouTube, we want it to be different than what's already on Twitch, because people can find it on
Even
Twitch.
though, oh my gosh, the Twitch's library
Oh
is
no, it's not the best.
horrible. It's so confusing. It's bad.
Yeah. We have had some people ask if we're going to put the full streams on YouTube, but I don't think we will, just because, like, imagine if you're someone who's watching and you're just watching for the highlights, and that's the main thing you're watching for, but then every other video is, an hour to 2 hour long stream. You might unsubscribe because you're like, ugh, I don't want to be getting notifications for...
Yeah. The only thought that I've had is uploading videos unlisted to an unlisted playlist, or like just like a public playlist, but the videos won't be sent out as notifications, and then you can watch like our past streams in a playlist form, but still.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. We're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
As is a little bit obvious, but you know who just figured out something really cute? Our Supurrvisor.
Supurrvisor. Okay. So a lot of people ask, like, does she still use the catio? Is she using the catio? Does she like the catio? And the answer has been yes, but she hadn't been using it a ton. Like, it slowed down in the past month or so because it's
summer
so
in Houston.
hot.
It's so hot.
It's so hot. And so we're like, oh, well, I guess that makes sense. But then she recently discovered catio in night mode, and she freaking
so cute.
loves it.
She loves it.
As soon as it gets dark, she's like at the door, and she'll either let herself in or she'll just stay there and like look at us until we let her in. Yeah, and she just goes out there and just like disappears into the blackness. Yeah, because there's no light. She's just a little ninja. And it's just so cute. Knowing she's out there just doing her own thing. We can't see her. She's just out there.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
It kind of makes me want to like expand the patio to multiple windows. Maybe even like make a little catwalk.
Oh, expand the catio?
Catwalk.
Oh, what would be a catwalk?
A catwalk between our two windows, so
On
she
the back
can go.
of the house?
She can go from our bedroom to the living room, like outside, and
That'd
she
be
can have
cool.
like a little tunnel door thing or
Because
something.
what she does, so the living room and our bedroom are both against the back of the house. And so sometimes she'll be in the living room and there's like a squirrel or something outside that she's really into. And the squirrel runs past where she can see from the living room windows. So she like runs backwards, goes down the hall, around the hall, does a whole U-turn around the house to get to our bedroom.
to look out that
to
window,
go
to
look at that-
continue the continue
squirrel
to
hunt.
monitor it.
Yeah. And then if it goes back the other way, she'll run all the way back. And so, yeah, that would be cool if she had like a little catwalk in between. Maybe
Yeah.
a future project.
Yeah, maybe. Well, speaking of updates on past projects, we have a dirty secret that we're going to share with you. During the garage cleanup, it's just like something that we see every single day, and we just want to like fess up to it. But during the garage cleanup, we like quarantined a whole bunch of items that were like, we still need to deal with this, or we need to reorganize these, or we need to repaint them, or it's like these are our problem children of the garage. Everything out there is good and organized and great, and it stayed organized, which is good. But we do have this pile of stuff that's just still kind of sitting there.
Yeah, and it's like a decently large pile. It's not a ton of individual items. It's just like some of the large items.
Yeah.
I guess there's a decent amount of items too. But it's all stuff that like, I think all of it is like keep stuff, but it all has to-dos tied to it. And we didn't just want to like shove it in a cabinet and forget about those to-dos. So an example is like clamp storage. We never had good clamp storage. We had our clamps in like 5 different places before in the garage. And so all of our clamps are inside. And that's a lot of stuff. And so we finally figured out some clamp storage, and we, just bought some stuff because we didn't have time to make anything.
And now that's just sitting in the pile too.
But like, it's things like that where we didn't want to just throw all of our clamps like into a cabinet and close the door, because we wanted to make the storage right.
Yeah, we could have. We have the space now, but like I want to put things back properly, like Katelyn's saying, and that it's just a to-do that we haven't gotten to.
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff like that. But it's funny because like your mom came over the other day, and she hadn't been to the house since we like did the garage makeover, and she like looked over there. She's like, "You guys have a lot of stuff in here." And we're like, yeah.
We also had someone come in. We had some wasps in our house. Or was it wasps?
Yellow jackets.
Yellow jackets. And he's like, are you guys like resellers or something? Like, like do you like sell stuff on Amazon? He was so confused because we had
so many tools.
All this stuff just like sitting around on tables and stuff. And he was so confused.
Yeah.
He's like,
well, and he knew we worked from home because when we were scheduling it, I was like, oh, we both work from home, so anytime works.
Yeah. And he was like,
are you guys
the heck are these like hoarders or something?
I know.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. I was like, no, we make things. I don't want to like explain the whole YouTube thing.
Yeah, it's like it's a whole spiel when we go to explain it. Anyways,
yeah.
Well, that I think brings us around to the story of the Supurrvisor.
Story of the Supurrvisor.
Okay, this is my favorite part of the story. I'm gonna kind of like jump around a little bit, but Katelyn has always loved cats. From like when you were like a very little kid.
I've had cats like since I was born.
And you've always just adored them, even when they might not love you back.
Oh yeah, I went through some hard life lessons with cats that didn't love me the way that I loved them. When I was like 4, I remember my grandma's cat. Her name was Foxy. She was a foxy lady. She also apparently she farted all the time. I don't remember that. But like I would just come up and like she'd let me give her one pet. I'd be like, oh, she likes me. And then I'd try another.
It's
very traumatizing. Very normal for a cat, but like, you know, when you're 4.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Very, very sad. Cats
always love cats.
So I think Katelyn has always had the plan that she wants to get her own cat as soon as possible. But Katelyn is also very responsible. She is responsible and she likes to have a plan.
Yes.
What was the plan?
So the plan was to get a cat. So okay, let me back up a little bit.
Yeah.
At our college, it was, and this isn't common for most, but it was common for people to live on-campus housing all 4 years, which is kind of a rare thing. But so I was on campus all 4 years. Can't have cats on campus. So as soon as I graduated and I was getting my own apartment, I was like, I'm going to get a cat, but I'm going to be responsible and I'm going to at least get a bed. No, I was going to get all my furniture. I was like, I'm going to furnish the apartment and then I'll get a cat. Yeah. But it was like a good motivator to like get the apartment set up. Like I wanted to move in. I still had just boxes of dorm stuff. And so I got a bed. I got a couch. And then I got a cat.
All of the furniture you need. A bed, a couch, done.
Yeah, that's literally, I had that and then just like some Rubbermaid containers of like dorm junk.
Well, and you got like a white couch, right?
Yeah, well, so, okay. So I was looking, because I was like so excited to get a cat. I was looking at like the shelters online and seeing a lot of the shelters have like photos of the cats that they have. And I noticed like a lot of them were light colored cats. And they didn't have all of the cats. It was just like a decent amount of the photos. So a lot of them were like light colored tabbies and this and that. And I was like, you know what? I'm shopping for a couch today. I'm going to get like a couch that's kind of on the light side, like a taupey kind of color. So I went shopping. I bought the couch. And then and I was with my mom and I was like, oh, there's we were kind of like slightly on the other side of town.
You had the couch in the car?
No, I had ordered it.
Oh, you had ordered it. Okay.
But it was like on delivery. So I literally just bought it and we were on the other side of town. And one of the shelters that I looked at that was kind of farther from my apartment that I might not want to drive out to was right near the furniture store. And I was like, we should just go look. Next thing I know, I'm like in my happy place, sitting on the floor of the animal shelter with like all of the kittens.
It's the best thing ever, by the way. Just like being in the kitten cage.
Oh, it's so
like
good.
Amazing.
It's oh my gosh, it's my dream. And I was playing with kittens. I was playing with like older cats. I was like playing with a bunch of them. And there was this one who, and you can only get out like usually it's just like one at a time, really, unless they're super friendly and get along with all of them. And there's this one, so their like crates were stacked vertically, and one that was about at like, I don't know, mid-level height. There's this tiny little fluffy black paw that kept popping out and like bopping my arm, like when I would be standing up. And I was like, I see you, little black kitten, but I just bought a white couch. And so I was like playing with the other cats. And then like she just kept like getting my attention, and I was like, oh my god, she's so freaking cute. She's so freaking cute. Okay, I'll just play with the black kitten. I just want to like play with her. And a lot of times kittens are kind of skittish. They'll like, you know, they might like come over and give you love, but then they also might like freak out and go over there, or they might be really scared, or they might try to hide. Like they're not as calm as older cats. So sometimes they're kind of all over the place, and it's hard to like get a feel for their personality in shelters if they're not in a calm mood. And so all the kittens I had played with were kind of, you know, they had their zoomies, and they were getting their zoomies on and running around all over the place. And then I like grabbed this little black kitten. I, you know, put her on the floor in front of me, and she just immediately crawls in my lap and just lays there. And I'm like,
oh, I have been chosen.
And it was just like, oh, my eyes. I'm getting like slightly teary thinking about her. She was just so dang cute. And I was like, she's the one.
The one.
She's the one.
Oh,
so I brought her home. I didn't even have the couch yet because it hadn't been delivered.
Like your bed and like an empty floor.
Yeah. And then I had a fluffy, super fluffy black kitten. And then my white couch got delivered.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
That's so great. So did they tell you where she came from or where they found her?
She was found at a mall, in the mall parking lot. Somebody found her and brought her in. So
Little mall cat.
Yeah, she's a little mall cat. She was really tiny. She was so tiny that like when I first adopted her, they couldn't like fix her yet.
Oh,
she was
wow.
too small for the surgery, and so I had to keep her for like several weeks before they could even do the little surgery on her.
Oh.
She was so small. She was all
I wish
fluff.
I had have been there.
I know. Yeah, you were in Houston at the time.
I was in Houston, yeah.
We weren't dating yet. We were only friends still.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, man. She's so freaking cute.
Oh, sorry. Go for it.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, like, speaking of the catio, this isn't the first thing that you've built for her.
No. I mean, in my apartment. So, there was like a pretty decently sized room for putting, if you wanted to like rent laundry machines. Like imagine the footprint that a washer dryer takes up times 2, you know?
Yeah.
And so without the washer and dryer in there, it was like a really, really big empty closet, basically.
Those are like an awkward place for
An awkward
anything
place.
else. Yeah.
Yeah. You could really only use it as like a closet. And I was too cheap to rent a washer and dryer because like I just walk down and use the ones of the apartment, like, you know, not lobby, you know.
The common area.
The common area, you know. So I'm going to do that. And so I turned it into Kitty Kingdom. And it was basically like, you know, those kind of like reconfigurable wire. It was some reconfigurable wire storage units. But I set it up to where it was like a stair step almost. So it was, imagine like square cubbies, but they stair step down. So, and then I like put little towels and bedding in every cubby and like had a bunch of toys in there, and so she could kind of climb to the top of it or go into any cubby, and I had a bunch of toys, and that's where I had like her food and water and stuff, and just like all sorts of fun kitten stuff. But I just made her like a little like cat closet.
It's like DZ Play Zone, but for a cat.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, what else was I gonna do?
What else was I gonna do? Of course, I had to build a cat kingdom.
Of course, I was like recent college grad, using my time wisely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did she use it at all?
Yeah, she did.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to build a Kitty Kingdom 2.0.
Maybe. I mean, she'd probably like it. We don't really have room.
No.
That is the catio.
Yeah.
Need to expand the catio. We don't have room in the house. We expand outside.
Yeah. Well, I think when I met her, how old was she?
She was almost a year.
Almost a year. So she loved you, and she didn't really like anyone else.
No, and she's still kind of like that. Aside from you, you've passed the test now.
I've passed the test. Yeah, it took about a year for her to like really like trust me and like curl up on me and love me and stuff. But yeah, she has her people. But that's pretty much it.
But if you think about it, like she took to you, and you were kind of you were one of the first other people that she spent any significant amount of time
Yeah.
around. And if you think about other people, like she's a lot more hesitant about them than she was meeting you. You know?
Yeah.
Like she wasn't necessarily like cuddling with you immediately, but she wouldn't hide.
Yeah.
She didn't like hiss at you or anything.
Well, I think that you might have, I'm not sure how much prep you gave me, but I knew, like, I was pretty good with, like, cat etiquette.
Yeah, which is definitely a thing.
Yeah, definitely a thing.
Yeah, I did kind of, like, prep you a little bit, but I try to prep other people, too.
You can't just, like, go up to a cat and, like...
just, like, pet their heads.
Yeah, like, treat them like a dog.
Yeah.
Cats aren't dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Some cats are dogs.
Some cats are dogs.
yeah. But most cats aren't like dogs at all.
Yeah, but, I mean, we moved in together, like... Well, we didn't move in together for 10 months, but you were at my apartment every weekend. So she got pretty used to seeing you. And then we started we called it kidnappings, like where I was freelancing at the time. And so we would schedule a kidnapping where basically like Evan would come to my apartment. We'd, spend the weekend there. And then Monday or Sunday night, you just take me and Mochi back with you.
Yeah.
And we would stay at your apartment for like 2 weeks, and I would just work from there.
Oh, so much fun.
It was super fun.
My gosh.
But so then she got used to your apartment.
Oh, yeah. So she got used to our apartment, like, gradually. Yeah, she was, like, there for a little bit. Because she'd be there for 2
weeks at a time. But she was, like, she adapted to it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And she's a cat that, like, does fine on car rides. As long as she's not going to the vet.
Well, as long as you're with her.
As long as I'm with her.
Like you're able to like touch her and reassure her and stuff like that. So
yeah, but so like she didn't mind the rides and she liked being at your apartment, which is like so surprising, actually.
Like just moving cats is hard sometimes.
Well, cats are very like they're creatures of habit and they don't like change, and so. I'm kind of surprised that she like took to it so immediately, but I was there with her.
She took the change to this house pretty well too.
Yeah, she did. She's lived in 3 different places.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah. She's moved pretty well.
Yeah, but yeah, so she did kind of have like some time to get used to you, and like first in weekend chunks, and then in like 2-week-long chunks at a time, and then I moved in, and then. She already like knew you pretty well by then.
Well, also we had a common bond. We both loved Katelyn very much. And we respected each other's boundaries. It's a relationship built upon trust.
But I feel like she's pretty well bonded to you now.
Oh yeah.
I'm still the one that like feeds her, so I think
and like cleans up most of her poop.
Yeah,
so
I clean her box.
Okay, thank you, human.
Yeah, so I still like serve her. I'm still the one that does most of that stuff. So I think I still have a little bit of a priority.
Yeah, she hops up on your lap first. But also, like, often she'll curl up on my lap too.
Yeah. I think also she knows because like I would say like slower movements sometimes, and I'm more like aware of where my limbs are. Whereas sometimes you'll just be like, well,
I've never been aware of where my limbs are.
And so like I think sometimes she has to be like kind of more on guard if she's like next to you, because you might just like reach over and she's like, whoa, that was a sudden movement, woman. Like, why you do that?
Also, you play with her a little bit more than I do. You like she words. There's too many names for our cat.
Yeah.
Mochi, Supurrvisor,
Jube.
Juan, Jube, Dusty Mo, Dusty Jube, Druken.
Bear.
Yep, lots of names.
Yeah.
But so Juby loves boxes like all cats do, but Juby also loves being pulled around in the box.
Oh yeah.
So you will more often like pull her around in the boxes, do the zoomies with her, and stuff like that.
Well, because she's one of my if I'm like editing for too long and I need a break, she's like my perfect break excuse. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm like, well, I could pull out my phone and browse Reddit for a few minutes, or I could like go find Juby and like play with her / annoy her for a few minutes. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like what mood she's in. Kind of like a hide and seek moment too, because
I totally play hide and seek with her
because she doesn't have like contrast in her coloring. Like lots of cats are like, white and brown, or like different shades or anything like that. No, Mochi's just like pure black.
Sometimes we'll play find the cat. Like if I know where she is, I'm like, stand in this spot. Do you see her?
Well, it's like there are other black lumps. Like if you throw your black jacket on the couch, I often think that's Juby. Or like,
or a black backpack.
Or a black backpack. I'm like, that's not our cat. That's a backpack.
Yeah.
So and she also hides in corners and in our closets and stuff like that. So it's sometimes fun to like go around and try to find her.
Yeah, it is fun. But yeah, so she's like one of my little breaks. So we get more like playing time together, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you could win her over. You could win her from me.
By bribery?
Yes.
And treats?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know the way.
Yeah. But she loves you a lot too. And sometimes I think it's also like habit. Like she's gonna sleep on the same side of the bed no matter what.
Oh yeah.
It happens to be my side.
And you know,
like when
her favorite is right in between us.
Like her favorite spot is literally like right
like
between
in
us.
the little pocket between us.
Yeah.
That's her like
That's
happy
where
place.
she would be.
Well, speaking of habits and happy places, when it was time for us to make a new website for Evan and Katelyn Gaming, guess where we went?
Squarespace.
Squarespace.com, because they had really easy templates. It was really easy to make a format. By the way, if you don't know, this is the ad spot. It was really easy to make a new website, drop all of our like embeds in, drop the videos in, embed the Twitch playlists and stuff like that. And it was really just a happy place to go back to.
Yep, it's a great habit to form. I'm trying to like feed into your segue here.
I was trying.
It was good, yeah. And if you don't want to be in the habit of dealing with annoying plugins or your website crashing, Squarespace is definitely a good place to go to.
Yeah, and when you're ready to start taking your business or side hustle or whatever you need a website for, seriously, you can go to squarespace.com to get a free trial. And when you're ready to start, like many of our listeners and viewers have, squarespace.com/Evan and Katelyn podcast to get
10% off your first purchase. Sorry, I didn't know you were going to put me on the spot. Yeah.
Squarespace.com/Evan and Katelyn podcast to get 10% off. All right, back to the podcast.
I thought it'd be fun to tell one of the stories of one of our very first projects that we did for the apartment together, which was for the Supurrvisor.
Oh, yeah, the IKEA cat box. And we have it documented on our old blog. My gosh.
It got picked up by a lot of different blogs and stuff, too. It did, pretty good on Pinterest and other blogs.
Oh, yeah, and that was, I think that we might have told the story before, but before we started doing YouTube, we tested Reddit out to see, how Reddit works and what communities to post on and everything. And we posted the IKEA hack cat box, and it made it to the front page, and we're like, we understand the internet. And then nothing else has ever done that well.
Yeah. But so what we did is we took, IKEA has this line called Besta, and it's very modular set of different size cabinets that you can arrange in different ways. And it's typically for media centers, like media consoles and stuff. But they have these smaller single 2-unit Besta cabinets. So it's just a 2-unit wide low cabinet that's about 1.5 feet deep. So anyways, we had done a Besta media center kind of thing. And so we were kind of familiar with the cabinets. And in my apartment, I had Kitty Kingdom, which is where I could put her litter box and stuff. But you didn't, your laundry room in your apartment was just a vertical stack. There wasn't a room.
Yeah, you're right.
And so we were well, where are we going to put her stuff?
Was she in the bathroom for a while?
No, I think we just immediately went to this.
Oh, wow.
Because the bathroom didn't really have a good nook or anything.
It would have just been right in the middle.
It would have just been right in the middle of the floor. There was no nook to tuck it back into.
Yeah.
And so there was no good place for her box. And we were okay, well, we don't just want to have it in the middle. It's do we put it in our bedroom, in the bathroom, in the living room, or in the kitchen? Well,
and one other interesting challenge, or not really a challenge, but the other objective that we had for this is we also wanted it to hide the litter box, but we also wanted it to reduce the amount of litter tracked out.
Oh yeah, because she's one that
scrambles.
She scrambles. She runs out of her litter box.
Like
and
the poop is chasing her.
Yeah. And just like runs away from it as fast as she can. And so she leaves like a trail of kitty litter behind her. And so we wanted to help contain that, especially if she didn't have her own room to like have it in. And so what we did is we took this 2-unit Besta. We had 1 unit with a full cabinet door on the left side. So picture this 2-unit thing, full cabinet door on the left. On the right, the top portion was a skiddy pull-out drawer with a cabinet under it. And again, this is all like reconfigurable. You can do what you want. There's a divider down the middle that we cut a cat-sized opening out of so that the two were connected. In the left full cabinet side, we put a litter box. In the right, that was slightly shorter, we put a litter mat. And then in the drawer, we stored things like extra cat toys, cat food, stuff like that. We didn't put the food in there. We had extra toys and like her litter scooper and like plastic bags.
Yeah.
And so we had this totally little self-contained unit. And then we installed a cat door on the far right, exterior side. And so she would go in and out of the cat door. She'd walk over the litter mat, go through the opening into the litter box, and then she'd go out the other way. And she kind of couldn't run out of it because she had to go through like cat door sized openings, you know, and the litter mat helped catch everything. And it worked super well.
It worked
was a great
so well
system.
for years. And
then like a year into owning the house, she decided she didn't like it anymore.
Well, I think the main thing is, I think the main reason why we kind of stopped using it is when we upgraded the laundry room. And we like hid her new box in like its new location under the cabinets, kind of tucked in and everything there.
But she had kind of grown less fond of it gradually after moving into the house. Like, I think in the apartment it was fine. She was totally used to it. And for whatever reason.
Well, also maybe because it was like fresh and new and maybe like we just couldn't clean it as well.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to clean it, but it's also like particle board, you know?
Yeah.
So it probably did have like an end to its life in sight. It wasn't going to last forever. It'd be different if it was like a different material.
I bet now we could make an even better one.
I think we could. We don't need it.
We don't need it, but like we could like kind of like I think that there have been some suggestions online of like adding some lights above her areas that she can like see a little bit, maybe like having some windows in there so that she's like private, yet she can also monitor.
Yeah,
or something,
and light did come in through the cat door, but it wasn't a ton of light.
Yeah.
But I think we could have done things. I think we didn't think about it in the beginning because she just like took to it immediately. Yeah. You know, so we're like, oh, works great.
Yeah, perfect.
And then when she started not using it once we moved, we like weren't too sure. We did try like keeping the cabinet door open, but then it kind of like defeats the purpose of having it all concealed in this little thing. And so we ended up going with just tucking it into a cubby in the new laundry room makeover, and she likes that. Yeah. But also, 'cause sometimes cats just like change. You know.
We haven't had that many failed cat projects though, like that she didn't take to.
Yeah, she loves her scratching post. Yeah. She loves the catio.
Yeah, we've done 2 different scratching posts. One that just lays on the floor and one that's vertical. She likes the vertical one more. But when we only had the flat one, she still used it.
She used it a lot, yeah. Yeah, she has.
It just stubbed our toes a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I prefer the vertical one. We might do a new vertical one sometime, like an updated version. It was one of our first projects on the channel.
Yeah, well, like the one that we made, it was just for the side of a couch, but she likes the corner of the couch. Yeah. So I think we need to make another one that wraps around the corner of the couch. Yeah. Yeah. Because for some reason she likes corners.
Yeah, it's like a scratching post / couch armor. Yeah. I'm trying to think of when we started calling her the Supurrvisor. I think it was the first summer that we were doing the channel. Before we had AC in the garage, there was a few projects where it was just so hot. We're like, okay, we're just going to do as much of this project as we can inside. Yeah. And I think one of the first ones was our entryway shelf, our little like coat hanger.
Oh, yeah.
I remember we did like the cuts outside, but we did all of the gluing and assembly and all that. We just laid out a big tarp in our living room and did it in there because it was so freaking hot. And so she would hang out on the couch and just watch us the whole time. And there was a few times where she was in the shot, like in the foreground of the shot, because she was on the couch, like the my words, the L of the couch. And so she was like, her head was barely in frame and you could just see her watching us. And I remember popping text onto screen and calling her like the supervisor because she was like supervising because she was watching the whole time we were working.
I almost forgot the origin. I thought we just decided that she was the supervisor from the beginning. No, it's always been the supervisor.
I think it was because like when we started doing some projects inside that summer because it was too hot, she would always be nearby, like watching us, like she was supervising our work, you know? And so I popped it in text. I don't know if I spelled it with the like PURR at the time. That might have come later. But I think that's when it started, was that video. That's the first time I have a memory of doing that in the edit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The origin of the supervisor.
Yeah. And now she's still like, if we're inside doing a project, she's on because usually if we're inside, we're in the living room. And she's on the couch just watching us the whole time. And when we're in the garage, she often, and this isn't the case if we're using power tools, if we're like using loud stuff, she doesn't have any desire to be in there and we wouldn't want her in there anyway. But if we're not doing anything with power tools and she can just hear us talking, she'll often be right at the garage door.
Oh yeah, that's so cute.
And she'll sit on, if you've seen our laundry room makeover, we have our like top open chest freezer with the wooden top that we built, and it's right next to the garage door. So she'll sit on that. So she's at like counter height. And she'll just sit there, and then we open the door, and she's just like right there, right next to our faces, and we're like, "Oh, hey!"
And she's right there. She's supervising auditorially.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if we're in there too long, she'll start meowing, which is really sad.
And then we're like,
"Oh, we're coming in soon." Sometimes Katelyn needs to take a break, and she's like, "Okay, pets. Okay,
yeah,
back to it."
And sometimes we will let her out in there.
It's cleaner now.
It's cleaner now,
but it's still not like great.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we're doing things like with sanding or dust.
Yeah,
or
if it's too dusty, or if we're in the middle of a resin pour and we like we are gonna have sticky hands and we can't I don't know. I don't know what she would do, because she usually just like finds a cool hiding spot.
Yeah,
or
and
just
sits and watches. But like, what if she wants to hop up and we need to like deal with her and we have messy hands? We just don't want that to be our concern.
Yeah,
we want to be safe,
or we don't want her like accidentally being underfoot if we're like in rush mode because the resin's kicking. So we don't let her out in the garage a ton when we're working, but every now and then.
Well, I think it's time for Thing of the Week. So my Thing of the Week is actually right here. It is the Raspberry Pi 4. We have it for an upcoming project. It won't be like that cool of a Raspberry Pi project. We're basically using it
It's a cool project.
It's a cool project.
We're just not doing anything too fancy with the Raspberry
We're not doing
Pi.
anything too fancy with the Raspberry Pi. No custom programming, nothing custom. It's just kind of an interesting little device for such a small price. It's pretty capable and everything. So I'm excited to show you guys in like
Do you want to say what you've done with it so far? Like some of the testing you've done?
I've put it in a case. I've used it. I've installed Steam Link. So now we can like use our main computers to play big games, but the Raspberry Pi just kind of feeds the signal to another TV. And for like the price that it is, it's a really good deal for something that you can stream games with. And also you can use it for like web surfing or whatever else you want to do.
How much is the Steam Link?
Steam Link was $40 when it was launched, or like $50. So the Raspberry Pi is $35 or something like that. So
it's cheaper and it can do more stuff.
It's cheaper and it can do more stuff. So it's kind of a neat little package.
Yeah, that is
It's
cool.
like you kind of have to have a little bit more know-how. You have to know how to
it's not just like plug and play.
It's
like
not
the
just
Steam
plug
Link.
and play like Steam Link. So,
It's still pretty cool though.
It's still pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm
excited to kind of like go down the path. Oh, I also did one thing fancy. I used the GPIO pins on it to install a little fan. Like using like the
You got a little fan in there?
Yeah, there's a little fan. Look, see the tiny little fan?
No.
It's right there.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I would have identified that as a fan from here.
Basic stuff, but it's like interesting to go down that path a little bit. Yeah. All right. What's your thing of the week?
My thing of the week is, so we got these silicone measuring cups.
Oh, yeah.
And we got them in a few different sizes. And we got them before doing the soap because for like the resin projects, we've been using like
paper cups and plastic cups.
We have the a mixture. So we got one of those like packs of little paper cups that you use for like, you put them in a guest bathroom to like brush your teeth with, you know?
I think like mouthwash and stuff too.
And like mouthwash.
Yeah.
Or yeah, not brush your teeth with the cups, but like if you like want to rinse your mouth out with water or something.
Oh,
or if you
yeah.
You know, stuff
That's
like that.
it, yeah.
So we got a pack of those little paper cups, and then we had Total Boat, when they sent us the resin, they included a bunch of buckets. So we have like a big supply of buckets. So we've been using that. And the buckets sometimes we can reuse, but they're also so big that for little individual colors, we would use the little cups. But we were like, oh man, we're going through a lot of cups.
Yeah.
And so we'd been looking for something we can reuse. And Evan found these little, well, we have two sizes.
They're so cute.
Oh, they're so cute. We have these little measuring cups that are just a little bit bigger than the paper ones that we were using. And they're like a great size, and they have a little pour spout.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And they are a little hard to clean because like when the resin is like too thin of a sheet, it kind of flakes and it's hard to like get it off.
You can kind of like get it out with water and like some friction and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you can pop them inside out, which is nice to like really clean off. And it worked great for like the soap too. So we've used them for soap and resin so far. And then we have these bigger ones that, you know, and the little ones, you could get a set of like 3 or 9 or something, and they're not too expensive. We did get some bigger ones that are like OXO brand.
More expensive.
That are more expensive. They're like $10 a piece, but they're so nice.
They're so nice.
They're and real sturdy.
They're much easier to clean than
so much easier to clean than
plain old plastic ones and stuff like that. And
and they have like very clear measuring marks too on the big ones, which is good because the little ones, we don't really use them for measuring. We just use them for like individual color mixing. But the bigger ones, we use it for like, we need to go up to a certain amount because that's where we like will pump our resin into to mix it, and we use it to actually measure too.
Yeah.
So it's great.
It's nice to like cut down on waste and just buy something once and we can use it going forward for a long time. I don't really see the silicone wearing out unless we like heat it up too much and it gets too brittle or something like that.
It's like pretty sturdy silicone.
Yeah. And we use it on the soap too. We'll probably use it in the future if we do like other melting things that we have in mind. I'm sure you guys can guess like maybe one, but we have 2. I wonder which one they'd guess.
I think I know which one they'd guess.
Yeah.
Things
probably.
that could be melted.
And turned into other things.
Yeah, but they've been awesome. I think they'd be good for like kitchen stuff too. Like the OXO ones are, I think, made for kitchen use.
Yeah. So if you want to be normal, you can also use them for normal things, but we use them for non-normal things.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey, really appreciate you guys spending your time with us on today's podcast. And if you haven't given us a 5-star review yet, we really appreciate that. It helps the algorithm know that we're an awesome podcast, and it uses your recommendation to show it to more people, which will grow the audience and keep us like going. FYI that we're recording this really early in the morning for us, and my brain isn't on yet fully, so that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, but today's launch day.
Well,
because we record this on Fridays. You guys are listening on Mondays, but you know we always get real excited to launch video.
Okay, guys. See you next time. Bye.